Alright, so let me tell you a terrifying tale from Irish folklore. It's an absolutely nightmarish creature that you know by many names. He has been called Stingy Jack. He has been called Stinky Jack. He is called Jack the Liar. He is Fakey Jack. And you may know him as Jack O'Lantern. Now, the story of Jack O'Lantern begins in 18th century Irish folklore. And it was said that a man by the name of Jack Smith lived. He was a blacksmith who was said to be a grumpy bastard and was known for being cruel. There was no redeeming qualities to this man. He was a trickster. He manipulated people. He stole from people. He tricked them out of their money. He would not give food to homeless people. He was truly a foul and corrupt being. And he had done so much of this foulness that even up above in heaven, God said that he would never be allowed to enter into heaven because of his nature. And he was fine with that. So he goes on living his life, and he was known for drinking excessively. One night while coming home from the tavern, he bumps into a body on the road, and he turns to see who it is, and it turns out to be the devil. Satan has come to actually claim his soul. So thinking quickly, he says to Satan, "What is it that you want?" And Satan says to him, "I have come for the soul of Jack Smith." And he asks Satan for one last gift before he dies. He asks Satan for a drink. Now, he tricks Satan in this moment here, and they go into a bar and they enjoy one last drink together. But when it's time to leave, Jack, of course, has no money. And he tells Satan simply to transform himself into enough silver to pay for their drinks, and then when the bartender's not looking, he can transform back and leave. And Satan does this, not knowing that Jack Smith was a crafty human, and he knew the power that the devil had and also what can contain him. So once he turned himself into a piece of silver, he dropped him into his pocket, which was lined with crucifix. And inside of this little bag with the crucifix and the iron, the devil would be held for a long time. Now, knowing that the devil would eventually get out of here, he wanted to make a deal, as he always did. He tells Satan, "I will release you if you promise not to hurt me, and give me 10 more years." And so Satan agrees, and Jack frees Satan and goes about enjoying the next 10 years of his life. And in 10 years' time, of course, he's done more of this terrible life, and Satan again returns to claim his soul again. Now, Jack knows that Satan is going to be watching him. He's very furious, but he's so into it himself. He wants to get away, and again climbs into a tree in an area where he had crucifixes already set up, and he traps Satan once more. But this time the crucifixes are larger and more powerful. Jack has been studying his occult teachings. So again, Satan has to make a deal, and Jack says to Satan, "I want you to never take me to hell." And Satan, being compromised, agrees and says, "I will never take your soul to hell." Now, of course, he lets Satan free, and he goes about his life, but once again he dies. This time when he dies, he's already been banned from heaven, and now, because of their agreement, he's banned from hell as well. So Stingy Jack becomes a ghost, a wraith. He's condemned to wander the earth forever without ever finding a home. He asked the devil for one more gift, and it was an ember of coal to light the night sky before him. In the original mythology, he carves a turnip and places that ember inside the turnip, making himself a makeshift lantern. Mythology would change that with the season into the pumpkin. And from here comes the myth of the jack-o'-lantern, who is said to have ghostly powers, to be very envious of mankind, and was always associated and attracted to the city which he came from. So in order to keep him at bay, they organized rituals on the 31st of October, a day that would, because of the alignments, allow ghosts to pass through the living world. And they wanted to be able to make sure that they kept all these ghosts and spirits away from their personal homes. So some would give rewards and treats, gifts and offerings to the ghostly spirits, asking them to depart peacefully, while others would rely on talismans to repulse them, including iron and silver and sacred waters. And thus the myth of Halloween was born, which would come embed itself into American culture with the influence of the Irish settlers. If you have more to add to this legendary story, please do so in the comment section. But as always, I ask that you hit that like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoy this Halloween story.